According to the National South African TB Association, more than 130 tuberculosis patients in South Africa are unaccounted for. The NGO has been looking for the missing TB patients for about 3 months now, and of course it's warning of the associated risks. For more on the story, I'm joined by Dumisani Adoons. He's from the South African National TB Association. Firstly, let's talk about how these patients went missing, and perhaps if you can clarify what you mean when you say that they are in fact missing, because it's not in the traditional sense of a missing person's case, is it?
Okay, thank you very much for having me. We have went to the Department of Health earlier this year, around January, and we have offered to assist them in any problem that they are facing, because we were preparing for the World Health what you call on the 24th of March, the International TB Day. So they have cited that they've got about 52,000 missing cases of TB. This is how we came about to find this missing word that you are referring to. So we have been raising funds as an NGO. We had some funds that we could, spend to assist. So we went and employed about 90 caregivers across the country to find where these people have gone to. So there are many factors that have actually contributed to this missing.
When you say that they're missing, you're simply saying that the department has been unable to trace them, but these are known TB patients who are on treatment, but for whatever reason have not been able to continue taking their treatment, and in fact have not seen health advisors since whatever the last date of their consultations may have been.
They are missing because they have not turned back for their, continued treatment and checkups. So reasons may vary. So they are on the records of the Department of Health, but because they are no longer coming back for their treatment, they are regarded as missing patients.
What is it about the TB treatment? Because we also see this a lot, especially with multi-drug resistant TB, where you have patients that will literally escape from hospitals. What is it about the TB treatment that makes it so difficult for patients to continuously adhere to?
It is a strong drug because it is an antibiotic. So it is very strong and it has got side effects. So sometimes people would feel sick before their body adapts to the treatment, and they would feel that they no longer want to continue with the treatment because it makes them sick. But they should continue taking the treatment, and eventually the side effects would subside and they would recover from the TB.
But are people well informed about this process and what physically happens to them?
I think it is a societal issue. When people go to the clinic, depending on a number of people that would turn up in a clinic, and sometimes there's a shortage of healthcare workers in the clinics. Sometimes the information may be little, but the healthcare workers would go out and give people information, give leaflets, do campaigns. I think there's just a little bit more that we can do to it so that people would know, even people that are not infected, they should know about the dangers of TB and how it can affect them.
Let's talk now very briefly about the risks that then these patients who you're currently trying to find, the risks they pose to the rest of the South African society.
They are a very high risk to the society because with a normal pulmonary TB, which takes about 6 months to cure, one can infect about 15 to 16 people. One person with an active TB. So if it is a resistant TB to treatment, it takes about 9 months to 24 months to cure, depending on the resistance. So if you can do the maths, if there's about 130,000 missing cases, and each of those missing cases would infect 16 people, each of them, that would mean we would have an outbreak of TB, resistant TB in South Africa.
How are you going to find them?
We have taken the initiative to employ those 90 caregivers with the limited resources that we have got, and we can do with more caregivers to place them in areas with serious challenges, like in the mining areas and your informal settlements. We can't reach there because our hands are so tight. We have got so little money to even, continue beyond our funded period, which is 12 months.
What is the survival rate, just in terms of those who then continue without treatment? And of these 130 odd that you're looking for, what are the numbers of those that you're expecting to still find alive?
We cannot speculate, but TB is a deadly disease, and it can even stay latent in your body and you don't show any symptoms. So people may be sick at a later stage and some would die. In that 130,000, we think that some have already passed on, but we want to believe that they are still alive, and we will find them and actually take them back to treatment. All
right. Well, that's where we leave it for tonight. Thanks for coming in and for painting the picture there. And of course, the danger is always that once somebody becomes multi-drug resistant, it becomes even more difficult to treat the disease from there on. Dumisani Adoons from the South African National TB Association.